where we're going to be going into Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Edmonton Oilers. And clearly, we just want to put behind us Game 3, a very poor showing in front of the home fans on home ice in Game 3. It's put us in a bit of a small hole here in the Stanley Cup Final. We're down 2-1. We've dropped our last 2 in a row. We want to snip that in the bud right here and get ourselves right back into this series. We're back inside the confines of PNC Arena for a Game 4 Stanley Cup Final matchup with the Edmonton Oilers, who took the first game in the series in this building. We want to prevent these guys from going up 3-1. Another thing to mention is this episode is going out later than intended simply because when I did the live comm, I didn't realize this, but I recorded the audio through my computer laptop's microphone, and the quality of the audio was terrible. In fact, I didn't realize that I had set the input to the computer microphone. I didn't set it that way. It's set that way by default, and I have to change the input to be the microphone or the audio interface. And I just didn't realize it until after I'd done it. So I have to do this. This is a post-comm, so it's not going to have the same exact feel as the live comm. But I want to make sure we get good audio quality for this Stanley Cup Final series. So this is going up later than intended. I've also been quite busy as well in my personal life, so I've been unable to edit and get videos out on the daily like I've intended to do. Just bear with me, and we will get through this Stanley Cup Final series, and then eventually on to Season 5. We've yet to see an official registered shot on goal. That will change probably very quickly. It'll probably be Connor McDavid taking the first shot on net, as we have an opportunity in tight. Kotkaniemi turned aside by Jack Campbell. And my has Jack Campbell been a force to be reckoned with by the Oilers' goal crease. We make a save there, sprawling out in the goal crease. A good forecheck. Look at the separation of puck from man, but it makes a difference not as Zach Hyman brings it over the blue line. He's already sniped one. Hits the post. He was trying to snipe it on us again as we are chasing it down now and neutralized. So KK goes the other way with it, and he's going to go center lane feed and kept out just barely by Jack Campbell, and a cover in that goal crease. That Game 3, I just got terribly exposed in Game 3. No, I wouldn't say I got exposed, but I can tell you that when a game is not going my way, it's easy to get frustrated. And when we're just not getting offense, we were not getting any offensive support. We were not getting much defensive help. And well, when we're not getting defensive help, it gets frustrating very quickly, very easily. A dangle attempt, not nearly as successful as I think he intended that to be. It's in front. We're going to go paddle down. We'll make a save paddle down. Jarvis to Nishushkin off a foot in front. It's off Granlund's foot in front, point blank. Jarvis tried to wrap it. Defended well by Lindell. Severson in from the defense. Severson goes back to his defensive position. It's going to walk out in front, and Nugent Hopkins off of a loose puck in front. The Oilers get on the board first. It took all of just 3 shots in this game, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets to us early. Are we picking up right where we left off in Game 3? We had a... What the hell? The puck goes all the way back down to Jack Campbell's net, basically. We've gotten off to slow starts in the last couple of games we played. We had a decent Game 1, but ever since then, it has been tumbling all downhill for us. We can't seem to grab any momentum off the Oilers. Natchez, a save off the glove of Campbell. We still can't get on the board. We've just run into a really good goaltender. This is running into a hot goaltender for you, and a hot goalie will steal a game for you. A hot goalie will steal a playoff round for you, and may well just win you a Stanley Cup, and it looks like that's what Jack Campbell's doing right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Draisaitl's flip-in can be played, and we will wait and rim it up the glass. No one there. We did that in the last game in Game 3, and it cost us. We gave up a goal by myself blindly rimming it around the glass. Campbell, a brilliant save. The thing is, for me as a goalie, when I play it behind the net, you kind of assume that you'll get wingers to go wide on the boards for that breakout. And it's just one of those things where sometimes I rim it up there expecting someone to be there, and when they're not there, that's what can happen. You have that forechecker right on the boards, able to get to it, and we're just trying to force plays through the neutral zone right now, and it's not working out. Lots of loose cluster plays in the neutral zone. No one can seem to get a 100% possession right now. There we go. We're going to roll it into the pad of Campbell. Face-off went back to Lindell. Rebound. And I think Silverberg just put it off the outside of the net. What's going on behind the net there between Silverberg and Severson to find Ethan Bear? We've got a penalty coming. It's behind the play. I would have to guess it's a holding penalty. And it's Brock Besser, and it is indeed a holding penalty. So we got down in this game pretty quickly, pretty early. We still only faced 3 shots total. This power play is an opportunity where we can get ourselves right back in, claw ourselves back in, especially before the period ends. But we just keep shooting it off of our teammates in front of the net. I'm going to play it from the corner and just try to make sure we get this out safely. So we'll use Josh Morrissey, who uses Svechnikov, across to Larkin. Svech shooting from the slot. No, he just lost it. A bad handle for Svechnikov and played back to center. D'Angelo has it to prevent it from going the full length of the ice. Flipped in behind my net. I can't do anything about that. This is Kopitar with it over to Hyman in front. Final 20 seconds coming up here to end the period. We're just skating it right into number 77. I believe that's Victor Hedman. We've got this. And you got to move it quickly. Got to try. I think we're going to ice it. Might as well. I had to push it. Face-off not won by the Hurricanes. And Morrissey will skate it up. Get one last shot on net with 5 seconds left. Morrissey. What a poor, pathetic excuse of a rush play with a power play. Trailing in a game. What a wasted effort on the power play so far by the Hurricanes. Haven't generated too much of really anything. There's nothing to talk about. We're making the dumbest passes. Nate just rebound. Nurse has cleaned it up, and the Oilers will clear with all that time ticking away. Missed opportunity on the power play, if you ask me. Not to say that'll be the last power play we'll get in this game. Oh, made an adjustment on the save off of Holloway. That's my first shot as well, seen in a long time, since probably halfway through the first period. We've hardly seen any action from the Oilers offense, and yet they have the one goal in the game to this point. We're going to throw it low but wide of the net. The Edmonton first line, Draisaitl to McDavid. I can't believe we made a save on McDavid there. That's an important stop. You can only merely hope to somewhat slow down the McDavid-Draisaitl line. Hedman escapes the forecheck, and now Draisaitl again. Drop past the McDavid, drop to Hedman. And in all of that, it was fumbled away. And the Hurricanes can bring it back into the attacking zone. As Jarvis skates right into Victor Hedman. Might as well have skated into a literal brick wall on that play. Backdoor Roslovic dropped off. That is a huge save on Draisaitl. Every save I make, super important. It prevents this game from possibly flying off the handle, which we are, of course, at risk of doing. We can barely manage to defend this Edmonton first line. We're doing enough to fend them off right now. Damon Severson outlet pass to Hedman on the breakout. They will find Leon Draisaitl, loose puck deke, passed off to Puljujarvi, down low off the post. It was Draisaitl again. This first line is terrorizing the attacking zone. Oh, and we give the short side up to Nugent Hopkins, his second of the game. What a calamity that possession was. And I know my mistake. I know what my mistake was. I pulled off the short side post, exposed the whole net on the stick side. We come right back and make a save. But I exposed the whole net on the stick side for Nugent Hopkins. He has his second goal in this game. The Oilers have a 2-0 lead, which at this point, the way Jack Campbell is playing in this series, it's a pretty commanding lead, and it feels nearly insurmountable, but maybe not, as Dylan Larkin goes low glove side on Campbell. This guy has been nearly impenetrable in this series, and of course in this game, it's posting in for the captain. Well, that could be a very important goal in this game. Dylan Larkin comes right out after giving up the Nugent Hopkins goal, and he answers the call. I may have to answer the call again for another big save if this Edmonton offense keeps this up. Severson is walking in. We didn't even pick up Severson. He came from the blue line in and we gave all of that space to him. Moss up to Meyer. Over to Larkin, the most recent goal scorer for the Hurricanes. It's going to be forced off of the Oilers' defensive stick. Hyman the right shot. Pulls over to the right side. Drops it down low in front. Holloway back door. We make that one as well. We have been tidy when we've needed to be for the most part, despite giving up the Nugent-Hopkins second goal of the game. Of course, Nugent-Hopkins has both goals for Edmonton. One more reminder for you. Balcer's save, blocker side. Holloway digs it out from the corner, orchestrating things behind the net, and Nurse will feed it down low into the corner. Balcer's back to the point. Puck is moving all over the place in a zigzag pattern. Morrissey on the forehand, just make a breakout play. He escapes the forechecker, somehow manages to evade both forecheckers. And it is over the blue line. That's a miracle we got the breakout to happen there. And then the most weak physical play knocks Timo Meier off the puck. The Oilers will dump it right back in. We've got the handle, spin around 360 mode, and then pass it off to Ethan Bear. But he can't even handle the forechecking pressure either. Pulls up, down low in front, off the leg of Darnell Nurse in front, but Campbell has got this one trapped up. We are going to have to do better on this first line defensively. We cannot let them just skate in past us, let them dangle, windmill around us. We got to pick up these forwards on the attack. Over the blue line, Roslovic passing off or shooting? None. Neither of those things. Skating it at the defense, dropping it off to absolutely literally no one. This might prevent or create a breakaway. We cannot prevent the breakaway. Drop to McDavid. And a save on Connor McDavid. I must say, Connor McDavid not been as big of a threat as I thought he would be coming into this series. That's not to say that it's been easy to handle, though McDavid and Nurse are getting in each other's way back there in the D zone. As Roslovic loses it in front over to Nugent-Hopkins. And finally, the Hurricanes, they should be able to get this out, but Granlund trying to evade the forecheck. Draisaitl, we keep it out. That was a bad play by Kari Granlund there. Off to Granlund. Lost. Jarvis. Short side bid. Kept out by Campbell. Jarvis finding his teammate back door, but looking him off instead. Why would you look off Andrei Svechnikov standing there back door? Winding down the time in the second period of play. Ethan Bear bringing it back to me. What a dangerous decision, especially with how much we've struggled to deal with Edmonton's forecheck. Oh, this is the most tumultuous period of the whole season right here. Stanley Cup Final Game 4. We're going to draw a penalty to start the period. So this is big. We get an opportunity to tie the game. Connor McDavid going to the penalty box. Well, I've done everything I needed to do so far to give this power play a chance to tie the game at 2-2. I mean, when I've been called upon to make big saves, I have made some really nifty saves in this game. Let's be honest with ourselves. But I've also given up some two tough ones. The second one, the most recent goal I've given up as we're trying to break this out. The most recent goal I gave up, pulled myself off the short side post. I'm guilty of that from time to time. And then the first goal that Nugent-Hopkins scored, just an awkward play where the puck just got loose. My guy was unable to get back and make an adjustment on it as the play goes offside. And a face-off not won by the Hurricanes. Hedman will flip down here. Do I leave this? I'm going to leave it for my defenseman. So there you go, Tony D. Timo Meier. T. Meier bumped off the puck, nudged a bit by Hedman. Has Hedman been a physical presence in this series? Big body presence. But look at that. Meier with a dangerous pass, but it worked out to get to D'Angelo. And all that for naught as Hyman flips it toward my corner. I got this. And just going to push it up to Druin with the time ticking down more on this power play. A critical power play for the Hurricanes. Down one goal in the game to this point. Puck's loose, flung wide by Jarvis, but kept in. Give and go play. Now behind the net to Jarvis. Back to Druin. Jarvis shooting off the stick of Campbell. Over to D'Angelo. No one's shooting. They have one-time options. Kept in by Moz. He's going to throw it down low, but draw a penalty in that process. What is it? Interference? No, a slash. It's 21 seconds of 5-on-3, but we got to make all 21 count. Can we do that on this two-man power play? No, because the glove of Jack Campbell is in the way. How many times in this series can I say save by Campbell? Said it way too much. Soup is doing big work right now in the goal crease. So the Oilers are back to a normal 5-on-4. penalty kill, a minute and a half specifically on this 5-on-4 right now. I made that an awkward play for Larkin, but it matters not if we can just score a goal on this. Pressure kept up by the power play. Forecheck, Larkin scores. What a neat play by the AI to set that one up. I tell you, this is the most creative play I've seen the AI make. Look at this. Drop pass, no look, behind the back to find Larkin. Well, that is just about as special and creative of a goal as you will see an AI player create. And we're knotted at 2. We might be going for more. Save off of Svechnikov by, guess who? Jack Campbell. You know, I wish nothing more, just speaking of that creative play by the AIs, I wish nothing more than to have create a play back in the video game. This is going to be a push ahead by Roslovic. A breakaway. He missed the net. How do you miss the net? I gave you all of that net on the glove side, and he forced it wide. That is a massive break to not get scored on by Roslovic there. So going to what I was going to say is I miscreate a play. It was in the old NHL 13. It was probably in NHL 12 and 11 before that. But I miss NHL 13 create a play. And it was probably in NHL 14 as well, but I never bought 14. Because I just never saw a reason to buy a yearly release that's nearly in the net. Now, I've heard good things about 14. I've obviously seen NHL 14 gameplay on YouTube, and from what I've heard, it's a slightly improved NHL 13. I don't know. I have a nostalgia affair for NHL 13, and it's been 10 years since the game came out, by the way. But I have a nostalgic love for NHL 13 because it was the first NHL game I'd bought in a handful of years. Yeah, for a few years there, I didn't play video games at all. There was a stretch from like 07 to 2010 into 2011 where I just straight up did not play video games. And NHL 13 was my reintroduction to the NHL EA video game series. So that's why I have such a strong connection with that game, just because it brought me back to my love of hockey. And it was my first NHL game, I think since 07, NHL 07, which was also a great NHL video game. But, complete obliteration on, was that Jonathan Drouin who was laid out in the neutral ice? But I miscreate a play. And if there was one feature that I could beg EA to bring back, EA, I beg you, if someone's listening, bring back the ability for us to create custom plays, tell the AI where to go. It was one of the neatest features, and I actually used it a lot to make custom plays for the AI. May have to break out NHL 13 again really soon. Yeah, it's one of those features they'll probably bring it back and call it new. You know, I'm fine with that. Oh, we're going to score. KK, and it gets loose to him, and we have now taken the lead. After we tied it, we're celebrating in Jack Campbell's crease. Take that, Jack Campbell. As you see, I think that's Timo Meier looking at the play that he just set up as he took a hit to make the play. There's the backdoor feed, and then it got loose. An awkward play. Yeah, you know, EA, you can take out, create a play, bring it back, and call it new if you want. I'm fine with it. Just bring that feature back. I mean, it can't be that hard to bring back. I don't even know why it was taken out. It was such a cool thing, and it allows for a more customizable experience. You can create breakout plays, tell the AI where to position themselves. You can create and set up the power play exactly how you want the power play to work. And it was pretty effective. It was a little janky at times, getting it to work 100% effectively, I guess. But it was not a terrible feature, and it's one of those things that I miss. The other thing that I miss, and I think this is more of a PS4 and more recent generation consoles problem than anything else, is you got to create custom music and custom intros for every team, which maybe I just need to sit down and just do a whole video discussing NHL 13 and my strong love for that game and the things that I miss about that game that I wish they could bring back. Oh, we're going to go on a power play. We've drawn a slashing penalty, the second one of this period. Darnell Nurse, as the Oilers seem to be getting into penalty trouble in the third. Not a good time to be getting into problems with discipline. I'm fine with Edmonton getting into discipline problems because That means that's more time for us to be spending on the power play. We can up our advantage. But, of course, they're going to go for it shorthanded. When they're trailing in the third, they will just gain the red line and dump it in. But they're trailing in the third. And you know how AI get late in a game, even shorthanded. They don't kill off the penalty. They start adjusting their tactics to be more aggressive. And I won't be able to relax or rest until the horn sounds on this game. Is that another one? That's another slash. That one came in neutralized. I saw that with my 2 eyeballs. D'Angelo off of Campbell. And we're going to get a 5-on-3. I'd say just let him touch that as soon as the penalty was called. You might as well just hand it over Ross Colton to the box now. But with us having a 2-man advantage again, I think this is our second abbreviated 2-man advantage in this game. But there's no reason we can't score on this. We need to get a goal here. We've come close on 2 occasions already. 3 now on this one off the post from Druin. One-handed reception by Jarvis. Campbell is facing a shellacking of shots on the net or toward the net, and somehow the Oilers have still survived. Dumoulin will just feed it in behind the net. We're going to play it and then quickly, immediately rim it, but it's worked out because I know I've got a man high on this occasion. 30 seconds ago of the 2-man advantage. Held in by Meyer off of his missed shot. He just can't hit the net right now. A darn shame that he missed the net on both of those tries. Oh, why would you look off Jarvis? You had Jarvis backdoor on that play, and you fed it behind the net, and Campbell's going to be able to get a cover. I just don't understand the logic of the AI. They're not passing for the back door. You have a right shot on the left side for a ideal one-timer on a 5-on-3, and you pass it behind the net. I mean, that is why create a play needs to come back in the game. There's just no reason for the AI to move that puck behind the net, and the Oilers have killed off one of the 2 penalties they've got going on right now. Like 4.5 minutes. That's a long way for me to go if we can't score on this. I just got that unnerving feeling like we're going to need the insurance. Holloway's in, dumps it in behind the net. We've got it. Spin around and get it up to D'Angelo. I mean, our break-in on the power play. We're not trying to pull up and create any space for ourselves on the power play. We're just skating it off the rush right into their defense. This time we haven't. Right shot left side. Hyman passes off to Bouchard. And there it is. Tie game. I just had that guttural feeling. You knew that was coming. You just knew that was coming, that they were going to set that up right after we failed to score on the power play. A 2-man power play nonetheless. In this game, inching ever closer to overtime. This would be the second OT game in the series after having played game 1 to an overtime victory. We've actually been pretty good in OT in this playoffs, and that might be a line change, or maybe we'll just go forecheck it. But I love that one guy in the forecheck, and he doesn't go right to the puck here. Connor McDavid dropped off to Roslovic. That baited me hard. And there's the lead. 4-3 game, under a minute to play. What else is new? What would you expect from this series? We haven't gotten help defensively, offensively. Meyer's gonna score by some miracle standing by the side of the net. What an absolutely stupid game in an absolutely stupid series. We have tied it after giving up the lead. We just briefly gave up the lead. Might want to hold on here because we may give them a 5-4 advantage. It's available. And I got a lot of help from Moz on that play. Good job defensively. Okay, so maybe after all, this game might be staring overtime square in the face here. Interrupted by Meyer. Up to Larkin. Can we prevent overtime? Dropped off. And then Kotkaniemi pushed to the ice like a rag doll. 8.4 seconds to go in regulation unless something happens in this last 5 seconds. Oh, that was it for D'Angelo. I thought he might have the game winner. But Campbell using that glove to perfection in this game. Oh, what a shot off the faceoff. That was shot off the faceoff. Campbell was aware. And both of these teams will see overtime. Oh, this game is just trolling me at this point. Tried to put a big scare into me. Give me a near heart attack at the end of regulation as the Oilers took a brief lead. Brief as it was. We came right down the other end and we tied it in a quick answer to that, which is, of course, led us to overtime. I needed to be better in this game, bar none. I needed to be better. There's no hiding around it. I haven't had a great series. The only good game I've had so far in this series was game 1. And then ever since then, I basically come out and somewhat crap the bed. I really crapped the bed in game 3. That was a bad game. This has been a better game. But we just straight up, we got to get better defensive support if we're going to win this series. On the left wing, passes off to Natchez. Fed down low off the pad of Campbell. So, this is the first time in this series I think we've broken past Campbell 4 times in a game. We're going to need to do it a 5th time, obviously, if we want to win this thing, which feels like a near impossible task. And then on the flip side of things, I got to be good. I got to make every save every shot that comes my way, which means not allowing a 5th goal in this game, which is, as of late, has been quite difficult for me to do. Listen, I'm playing the Edmonton Oilers offense, and their first line, which has their first and second line, which Nugent Hopkins, who has the puck now, has 2 goals. He has 2 goals in this game. It's just been difficult to keep their offensive attack silenced. Dumped in by Brock Besser, so I'll have an opportunity to slow this down and rim it dangerously. But dangerous as it was, it did get all the way down for Hedman to have to play it behind his defensive blue line. Balsers a dump in, so successive dump ins by the Oilers. We're going to rim it again around the glass to Kari Granlund. It's worked out a second time. Lots of back and forth dump and chase between the two teams, but maybe our forechecking pressure can get to work. Who am I kidding? We're in a trap. We're in a 1-4 trap right now, and another dump in by the Edmonton offense. Oh, that was bad. That was nearly not it, as Lindell could have messed that up for us. Jarvis, rebound into the corner. A lucky rebound for Jack Campbell. Severson dumps it in on the backhand, and I got it again behind the net. This is the 3rd or 4th time in a row they've dumped it in. They've dumped it in so many times successfully. They've dumped it in so many times consecutively that I've just about lost count. Nishushkin to Natchez, rejected away into the pad of Campbell, loose, and Campbell has somehow kept the puck out both of those times. Balsers flips it right back in about the 5th time. I'm going to play this behind my net. I'm waiting for someone to help me out. Why don't we just play it safe and go to D'Angelo? That's a smarter decision instead. I've already gotten burned by rimming the puck around the glass blindly in this series. Don't need to do that too many times, especially because Edmonton sends their forecheckers wide on those boards when I have it behind the net. So they're not giving me space to do that. Oh, this is it. Save off Balsers. That was going to be bad if Besser had scored on that, but he passed it off at the last moment. We made a great adjustment to make the save. Svetch is bumped out by Hedman on the boards. Natchez goes to pressure Severson. Wide open for Hedman on the middle. Draisaitl. Save, short side. I wasn't sure what he was going to do with it. And look at the burst of speed from Dylan Larkin. Windmill move to the outside. Pulls back, shoots. Rejected away by the Edmonton defense. We may see a potential double overtime Stanley Cup final game if neither of these teams can find a way to score. Larkin, it goes into the net! It goes in, and Dylan Larkin has got the hat-trick overtime game-winning goal on home ice to even this series at 2 games apiece. A no more critical game than this. And the home fans, they appreciate it. The hats are on the ice. I'd expect more hats than that for a hat-trick OT Stanley Cup final game winner in a must-win game for us. And you're darn right, we're going to storm surge. We know this won't be the last time we see the home fans. We will have to come back here for a Game 6. That much is guaranteed. And you see here the game-winning goal from Dylan Larkin. It looks like it's going to go off of the skate, as you see the defenseman Tyson Barrie running into Campbell, putting his tuchus in Campbell's face. And here's the net cam view as well, so you can see how it goes 5-hole on Jack Campbell. The second time in this series we've won in overtime on an awkward goal on Jack Campbell. Well, my goodness, did the line score take a hit from that game? So did the save percentage. But as far as I'm concerned at this point in the season, a win is a win. We're in the Stanley Cup final. The line score doesn't really matter as much anymore. It's just about getting victories. And we get one on home ice, so we're able to present the home fans with a victory before the series shifts back to Edmonton. We didn't want to go down 3-1 here and risk losing the cup on the road up in Edmonton. We wanted to bring this series to at least a game 6. It ties things up and it gives us a chance. And it was a must-win scenario, and we did. Now it feels like game 5 is also going to be a must-win scenario.